Okay, so now we're ready to start making our print designs. So to create a new file, we're going to hit File, New. We're going to make a 9x9 image at 200 dpi. And then we're going to choose a repeat type. This is going to show you how your motifs are going to be stacked within your design. I think I'm going to choose vertical stepped, and then I'm going to hit OK. And it's going to create a new file. We're going to bring in our color palette by choosing this little gear icon. It's the Atlas Manager, and we're going to open the one that we saved, and we're going to drag our colors into our palette. And then we're done with this, so we can close that out. We're going to bring in our repeat boundaries so we can see what our design is going to look like. And we're going to bring in our rulers just so we can get a gauge of the scale of it. And then we're going to use a few tools to create an interesting background. If you would like to color the entire thing at once, you can hit the paint bucket tool and you just select a color and it fills the entire thing. We can also use the straight paintbrush tool. It'll just draw. You can utilize the airbrush tool and it's going to create a airbrush look, but you can change down here in the drawing tools option box. You can hit the airbrush tab and you can adjust the concentration, the spray size. So say you want a bigger area for your airbrush, you can play with that. Even something like this would be cool. If you would like to draw freehand shapes, you can use this tool, and as you draw, it'll fill the shape in when you release. You can use these shape tools. You can really just be creative, do whatever you want. There's regular line tools. If you would like to create some straight lines or draw something specific in here, you can create, I don't know, maybe like a campfire looking thing. Stripe search have used the draw stripes tool to create lines in your design. Right now it's following the repeat boundaries, and because it's vertically stepped, it's going to cut the lines off. But to get rid of that, you can hit ignore repeat boundaries, and then it'll create it like how it's supposed to. You can also select just a vertical striped or horizontal, really however you want. You can fill shapes and things with gradients. So to do that, I would just have to go back to the paint bucket tool and I can hit fill with gradient, and you can choose the direction you want to. So say I want to do a radial raster, and then over here you can select what colors you want the gradient to be made of. So to select the first color, you just click once and then you right click to get the second one. And then it'll create a cool design that way. So I say I'm happy with this design and I want to add my motifs in. I'm going to go ahead and open my motif library. It might be right there. If not, you can use these 3 dots to find it in your Q drive. Oop, that's not the right one. There it is. And then I'm going to open my base back up and I'm going to drag my motifs in here. And then say I want to place it over here, I can do that. If I want to change it in any way, shape, or form, I can. Maybe I want to change the gradient over here to give more contrast. I can do something like that. Really just play around and do whatever you would like. You can play with your color rules by going to this icon over here, and this will allow you to, when you put one color on top of another, it'll create a new color and you can select that color it'll create. So say I want to if I put this blue over top of red, I can click through and choose what color I want it to create. Say I want it to create, I want it to create orange. I'm gonna hit activate color rule and click OK. So now when I put this blue on top of the orange, or on top of the red, it's gonna create that orange color. I would suggest adding your motifs in after you've created your background completely and it's to your liking, because I can't move the motif around, but for the future, if I placed in a motif, I would be able to move it by clicking on this. It'll toggle to the motif layer. I am going to flatten the image, and that's going to lock your background so you can't go back and change it at this point. And then I'm going to place a new motif somewhere to my liking. Then I'm going to be able to move it. I click select motifs from current layer, and then when I click on my motifs, now I can move around anywhere I want. And as you can see, I cannot move this one. If I want to delete the motifs, I can click clear motif layer and it'll get rid of it completely. Once you are happy with your design, say this is the design I want to turn in, you are going to go to File, Save As, and save it as a DES file. And name it something identifiable.